Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Our topic today is about perspective, about perception. It's an interesting one, and I think as I've been reading about and kind of researching this topic again, it's interesting to see how everything in mindfulness practice tends to interconnect. That I find little pieces of each practice that kind of show up, and each theme that show up all the time and keep showing up. Even the MBSR 9 attitudes all have something inside of each other. So today's topic of perception is no different, and one thing that goes from last time. Last time we talked about simplicity, and I told the example of the car. And the car that's my car and then Mabel's car. When there's a huge storm out and the storm blows the tree over, and I look out my window over here and I see Mabel's car, I go, oh, what a shame. Look at Mabel's car crushed by a tree. Oh, I hope she's okay. I hope she has insurance. And then I go over to my side of the window, and the exact same thing has happened. My car has been crushed by a tree, and then it's something completely different. It's complete tragedy. My feelings, my emotions are completely different, even though the exact same thing has just happened. And this really boils down to this idea of perspective. It's because in this case it has the association of mine. And I was reading a story recently, and I liked it, and it was kind of my inspiration to do this particular topic. Was about a man who the man is despondent. He's lost everything, and all he has left is the backpack on his back. And he lies down one morning to take a nap, and when he wakes up, the backpack's gone. And now the man is even more depressed. Like, the depression is overwhelming and has become overwhelming. But as he's walking around in the afternoon, he finds, lo and behold, on a bench and somewhere else in the park, he finds his backpack. And he looks, and everything's inside of it, and he's overjoyed. And so, in the morning, before he's lost his backpack, he's depressed and he's feeling bad. He finds his backpack again. So goes back to the state he was in right in the morning. And his emotional situation is completely different. He's overjoyed. So you can see that even in that same situation, as the situation can be completely similar, we can have a different emotional reaction and a different attitude. And a lot of times it is really based on circumstance. I guess that's going back to the mountain meditation that we did a little while ago, right? Is that you can be grounded. You don't have to be blown about by the weather patterns of your life. And you can, in fact, start to see that you are strongly affected by the weather patterns of your life. And your mindfulness can give you more stability, more clarity, more groundedness. And that's and a lot of it has to do with that kind of maintenance of perspective. And excuse me, to continue with more topics that we've recently talked about, gratitude. It's so easy to see what we don't have. And I think that this is another thing about social media, is that social media tends to show us what we don't have. We get little glimpses of highly curated bits of other people's lives, and it causes us to focus on the things that we don't have and the things that could be better. And I think we look at these glimpses and we mistake them for reality. And it is proven that social media has, although it was originally thought to be something that will help us to be more connected, and what it has unfortunately done instead is to drive disconnection and dissatisfaction. And one thing about social media, and let's talk about like news headlines as well. News headlines, it's the happy ones aren't the ones that get the most clicks, right? The ones that get the most clicks are the ones that are upsetting, the ones that cause strong negative emotional responses. And that tends to be what we're drawn to, right? Is we end up looking at this kind of stuff. So what social media, what news, what this stuff tends to do is bring us anywhere but here. Bring us out of this moment, bring us out of our bodies, bring us into our minds, and bring us into this thinking about things that we a lot of times we don't even have control over. That the thoughts, the emotions that are going around, and I think we crave that stimulation. That's what's that is one of the consequences of having this attention grabbing device, is that it does constantly. It dings and it vibrates and it wants our attention, and that's the one thing that I think that's being commoditized, right? I mean, that's why how do we aside from Insight Timer, let's say Insight Timer excluded because it doesn't use advertisements, but most and I guess is Insight Timer social media? I think Chris Plowman, the CEO, would say no, it's not, and it certainly does differ. Anyway, that's not the point of the discussion. Ad revenue is the main way that YouTube makes money, and the way that many of these other social media companies, Facebook, make money as well. And and to recognize that this is my my attention, and how easy it is to pull my attention away. And so mindfulness practice is this, and again, one of my inspirations to being a mindfulness teacher is that noticing how often my attention was pulled away by technology. And so we don't have to be a slave. Technology isn't bad. It isn't intrinsically bad by any means, right? Without it, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. It's really got some amazing benefits, but the problem is it does come with some challenges. So can you be aware of that, and can you take time in your life and in your day to drop into daily moment awareness or present moment awareness, and to do it daily. One more thing before we get started in our practice, I just kind of wanted to quote Thich Nhat Hanh. So going back to perspective and perspective shifts. As Thich Nhat Hanh would say, can you enjoy your non-toothache, right? I woke up today, and when I woke up, I didn't have a toothache. Is it possible for me to revel in the joy of my non-toothache? And so you also can revel in the joy of your non-toothache, and to know that whether you've lost your backpack or you've regained your backpack, you can have a stable and clear mind. And one of the keys to having that is through your mindfulness. So welcome, everybody. Great to have you here today. And in this spirit of simplicity, in this spirit of cultivating mindfulness, we're going to do a seated meditation. And the object of the meditation could be, what else happens in the present moment? Besides sensations in the body, there are sounds. Maybe today you'd like to bring your attention to sounds. So get comfortable, sit in a posture that's going to be supportive of you. I would encourage you to choose a posture that's going to help you to remain still, because kind of moving around, of course, requires some engagement of the thinking mind, of the conscious mind. So let's try our best today to stay still. If you're sitting in a chair, bringing your back away from your backrest so we can sit up straight and tall and alert. Chin roughly parallel to the ground, crown of the head towards the ceiling, shoulders relaxed, open and back. Noticing that there should be a slight arch in your lumbar spine, just like when you're standing. lips closed if possible, lower teeth slightly parted away from the upper teeth so we lose that tendency to grit, to clench our teeth together. Seeing if you can breathe through the nose. And maybe starting there, starting at breath at the nostrils. Can you feel air moving in and out of your body as you breathe? Seeing if you can tune in and turn up that awareness resolution all the way to 10, or maybe it goes to 11. And you notice every little detail about the air coming in. Is it cool when it comes in? Is it warmer when it comes out? Can you feel more air moving through the left nostril? Or maybe more air is moving through the right nostril? Is the same true for the inhale and the exhale? Investigating. The curious mind, looking at this thing that can be so familiar to us, seeing if you can look at it as if it were the very first time. And then, if you like, you can use sound as your object of meditation, noticing that sounds are only happening in the present as well. So I know here in my space, with my window open behind me, there are a lot of interesting external sounds outside. Maybe in your space, maybe there's some fan noise. Maybe you're hearing things from outside. You can always tune in without trying to hear anything. Just noticing what sounds in this moment are falling on the ears. So feeling free to choose awareness of breath, sounds. Just noticing what's happening right here, right now. And sometimes thoughts about the past, about the future, daydreaming, fantasizing, bring our attention away from present moment awareness. When that happens, just taking a moment to acknowledge that it has happened. redirecting the attention back to your chosen object of meditation. Focusing again on the present. And I do keep noticing my own mind being pulled away by my thoughts. So if you're also noticing that, remembering we are here to be present, to focus on the breath, to focus on sounds, resetting where you are, resetting your intention, reminding yourself, I am here to be present, to focus my attention on the present moment, returning attention to the breath, to sounds. Keep it up. You're doing great. Just a few more minutes to go. Keep focusing on the breath or on sounds. All right, congratulations everybody for making it through today's practice. I encourage you to set some intention to continue practicing like this regularly, as doing practices like this is a way for you to take more control of your life, to have more control of your own mental health and your physical health. So I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. All right, feel free to stretch out, to move your body in any way you like now. And remember, it doesn't mean we need to stop being mindful just because we're moving around. We can still dwell in present moment awareness. Thanks for joining today. Any questions or comments, be looking at the chat here shortly. And if you haven't said hello or you're watching a recording on YouTube, you are welcome, and it's great having you here today. Thanks for joining in our practice. I have some premium tracks that are coming out at the beginning of next month, so as June starts, Insight Timer is launching premium tracks. I'll have at least 3 tracks to go there. I've also decided that with the tracks, because I don't want to put a bunch of talking on the beginning of my tracks, I'm going to release a course as well, so that it's a little bit of additional meditation instructions for people who are just going to use those tracks. And I think the tracks are really, really useful. Live events great too. I love live events because we have so much ability to interact with each other, and I think it's nice to feel the presence of being here together. But to have a nice high quality audio track to listen to while you're at home or while you're on the go is also nice. So I'm looking forward to those being released, as well as the course, so that you've got kind of access to your meditation practice anywhere. So now I'll take a look at the chat. Ren says, no wonder why I have no control over my mental health. My mind keeps running away from me every 3 seconds with like the monkey covering its eyes emoji. And I just want to say, that's everybody, right? I don't know. I mean, this is what I think. A lot of people get upset and get frustrated that their mind, they go, oh, my mind is constantly wandering away. I've been meditating for years, and my mind still constantly wanders away because I have a complicated life. I have lots of things going on. I had lots of things happen to me yesterday, and I have to say a lot of my mind was going, that's where it was. I was still dwelling on what was happening yesterday. I think, yeah, sure, I was able to have maybe 3 breaths, maybe 3 seconds. This is just a reminder not to get discouraged, because the other thing is to use myself as an example. I led that meditation retreat over this past weekend in Hong Kong, and I got a chance to meditate more. I was away from my normal busy life, and I found yesterday that I was more skillful with challenging interactions. And then I'm like, yes, this is why I do this practice. This is so that I don't snap, that I have more awareness, that I can see things with that greater perspective. And that's why I encourage you to keep your practice up, because you'll find that, yes, there is a mindfulness bank. And the more we meditate, the more we can take withdrawals out when the challenging times come, because we will have practiced. Right? Of course, it's very hard. Your mind wants to be distracted all the time. It's very hard to keep the mind focused. So that is the exercise. That's what this is. This is the gym for the mind. And if the mind wanders away so many times, as long as you're bringing it back, that bringing it back is what's doing the work. Thanks so much, Ren, for sharing. And yes, Jean, I see your emojis around premium. I still have a lot of free tracks, so don't worry about it. It's there. I just want to encourage those of you who do have Plus memberships to check out those premium tracks. As this really it is the source of Insight Timer's revenue, and how I'm able to be live with you right now is because some people have Plus subscriptions, and so I do appreciate your support of Insight Timer, and your support of me and teachers like me. So thanks very much. And again, right? And maybe premium isn't for you. Maybe I don't want to pay for premium, and that's the whole point. Insight Timer is supposed to make meditation accessible for everyone, and I really, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm on Insight Timer. As I think that Insight Timer is great for supporting everyone, to make it accessible for everyone, which is why, by the way, they don't allow teachers like me to just have premium tracks. To release premium tracks, you have to have free tracks too. So that makes it so everybody has access. And honestly, I think you don't need a premium track to be able to meditate. A premium track is just kind of like that little nugget of bonus you get for having a Plus subscription. I think really what Plus subscription is about is about supporting Insight Timer. So thank you. Ren, you are not alone. Totally agree. Thanks, Barbara. The heart beats, the lungs breathe, and the mind thinks. That's what they do. Thank you. Sometimes it's hard not to get discouraged. I agree, Gary. And I think that the space between thoughts gets longer and longer, and is what Gary says as well. And that's not necessarily true. And I think I just want to say that if you're if you're struggling and you find that you've got today I have 5 seconds between the space where my mind wanders away and comes back. And tomorrow it's 3 seconds, and you go, oh man, why am I only 3 seconds today? It's okay. Like, we're different every day, and our lives are different every day. And I don't think there needs to be, it can be encouraging when we start to see forward progress. And I've seen in my practice and in my life, I've seen forward progress, and I've seen plenty of backward regress. And the wording itself it sounds discouraging too. But don't worry about it. The practice is affecting you. As Daniel Goleman says, and Richard Davidson say in their book, Altered Traits, the after is the before for the next during. You are different every single time you meditate. You are cultivating a new, a different, a more skillful you. So keep it up. And you don't need to see progress just to know that it's working. Because it is working. You don't need to see that progress. Thanks, Gene. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure who has premium memberships and who doesn't. And the point is I'm not here to pressure anybody to get a premium membership by any means. Yeah, what's in that space? And that's really interesting too. And that could be potentially another topic. Is I remember in my first teacher training, the fear that one woman had, because as she was meditating, that space between distractions got longer and longer, and the inner voice, that inner commentary that's constantly chattering in your ear, in your mind, disappeared. And she was afraid. Like, what am I if I'm not these inner thoughts? So that's interesting as well, right? And I love what Gary says, nothing, wow, what is that like? What is it like to be in that space of nothingness? And that's it too. Thanks, Ren, for sharing that. Is that there's often this balance. And we're not talking about the nothing, the I'm almost falling asleep nothing. It's that kind of that when the breath starts to calm, it starts to calm down, and the thoughts aren't as intrusive as they may have been a few seconds ago. You just keep practicing and watch and observe and see the difference that shows up in each practice and in each moment of the practice. So you're lifting, each time you're bringing your attention back, you're lifting those weights. You're making yourself stronger. You're making your attention stronger. So keep up the good work. Demonte says, thoughts are often really very draining. I have to say, I think even more draining than my thoughts is my focus on mindfulness. My mindful focus in the present moment can also feel extremely tiring. And I think if you're doing it right and you do it for longer periods, you'll find that wow, it really is tiring. All right, my time is up. So let's close our practice with some well wishes to each other and well wishes to ourselves. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening right now, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. May all sentient life on this planet and throughout the universe, may we all be happy and peaceful. Okay, cheers everyone. Coming back on Saturday morning Singapore time, which could be Friday night for you. To talk about self-compassion. I have a long self-compassion practice, and also to read this great article by Kristen Neff. Looking forward to it. See you then. Bye-bye.